More West Coast rain is on the way and more of those spring westerlies across the country. Hello, I'm Philip Duncan. Thank you for joining us. We are tracking typical classic spring weather, and among the chaos we are seeing some patterns forming. One of the patterns is high pressure coming out of Australia to our north and big lows down here in the Southern Ocean. And what that does is it creates a lot of westerly quarter winds for New Zealand. At the moment, it's colder around the North Island with the south to southwesterly change, but in the South Island, things are about to warm up as another Australian nor'wester comes back into us. So let's try and make sense of that all. Here is the setup for Wednesday. Look at the warm nor'westers coming back in again. So temperatures lift back up again on Wednesday nationwide, especially warm in the east of both islands, and high pressure to the north there means the North Island looks mostly or completely dry. The west coast though, you've got heavy rain coming back there. That will be slowly moving up the west coast. And if you're curious about rainfall totals, go to our news section of our website or app. We've got a 5-day rain map up there at the moment. It just sort of gives you quite an understanding as to where all that rain is coming, and most of it is over there on the west coast. So that's Wednesday, but once we get to Thursday, that front falls apart into the North Island. Why? High pressure. So it falls apart, just a few showers or patchy rain. It won't be very much. Rainfall totals will vary between 5, 10, maybe 15 millimetres in the top half of the North Island. Otherwise, fairly dry, especially over on the eastern side with those westerly winds still blowing, and more rain on the west coast, a little area of low pressure forming, and your temperatures start to drop again in Southland. And in fact, on Friday, it could be a little bit cool there for you for a time in the lower part of the south. More rain and showers on the west coast, and with big lows down in the Southern Ocean and big highs up to our north. Plenty of westerly winds coming through. They start to tilt a bit more northwest again, but it's messy sort of setup. And what this does is drives in rain and clouds to the west, and mostly sunny and warm and dry over in the east. Now, as we go into the weekend, not a great deal of change. High pressure lies to the north. We've got the windy nor'westers coming back, subtropical winds for the North Island and some parts of the south. So certainly warm on Saturday in many areas, but that dark blue line indicates cooler air. And so the lower part of the South Island may not be quite that warm as we head through the weekend. And our final map for Sunday, subtropical winds continuing to come down over the North Island with rain clouds building in the west, or shower clouds. And in the South Island, it turns wintry again. Sort of, well, wintry might be a little bit unfair to you, but it's going to be colder with highs around 11 and 12, overnight lows down around 4 and 5. So not very warm with those sou'westers coming through. And next week, a little bit more of that still to come. But it is November, it is still spring. I know it was warm last week, everyone thought that was maybe the end of spring, but summer doesn't really kick off for another few weeks, if not another several weeks, depending on how you look at it. So more of this weather should be coming our way, but I also think we'll be getting a little bit more of these highs coming out of Australia at some point. That is all from me. We'll see you again tomorrow with the latest.